Okay, our first participant today is Ragini.
Hello.
Hi, Ragini.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
I'm also good. तो आज जो ट्रैवल स्टोरी मैं आपको सुनाने जा रही हूँ वो एक्चुअली मेरी और मेरे लाइफ पार्टनर की रियल स्टोरी है। इसमें जो ट्रैवल कर रहे थे वो मेरे लाइफ पार्टनर है, तो उन्हीं के शब्दों में ये कहानी आज मैं आपको सुनाती हूँ। आई होप आप लोग पसंद करेंगे।
Lovely.
थैंक यू। ये कहानी मेरी जिंदगी के ट्रैवल मेमोरीज की सबसे ब्यूटीफुल मेमोरी है। आज से कुछ 12 साल पहले की बात है। मेरी जॉब की ट्रेनिंग थी पुणे में और मैं जयपुर से पुणे ट्रेन से ट्रैवल कर रहा था। बीच में एक शहर आता है, कोटा। वहीं जहां वो रहती थी। वो हमारे प्यार का, नई नई मुलाकातों का दौर था। वो मुझसे मिलने आने वाली थी स्टेशन पर। पूरे रास्ते बस उसके बारे में सोचता रहा। आखिर वो वक्त आया जब ट्रेन कोटा स्टेशन पहुंची। मैं बड़ा बेचैन सा अपने कोच के बाहर खड़ा, भीड़ में उसे यहाँ वहां ढूंढता। तभी वो नजर आई ठीक मेरे सामने, हाथ में एक बड़ा सा पैकेट लिए। ये क्या है? तुम्हारे लिए खाना लाई हूँ, अपने हाथों से बनाकर, और जानते हो आज मैंने पहली बार खाना बनाया है। और हाँ, इसमें एक शर्ट है, तुम्हारे लिए खरीदी है। वो बस बोले चली जा रही थी और मैं उसे देखे जा रहा था। सुनो, ट्रेन चलने का टाइम हो गया। मैंने उसकी नॉन स्टॉप बातों को बीच में रोका। ओ हाँ, पता ही नहीं चला। वो वहीं खड़ी थी। ट्रेन चल पड़ी। मैं उसे दूर तक देखता रहा। हाँ, 4 दिन बाद फिर आ रहा हूँ तुमसे मिलने। तुम आओगी ना? मैंने चिल्लाकर पूछा। उसने हाँ में बस सिर हिला दिया और मुस्कुरा दी। 4 दिन बाद मैं वापस जयपुर लौटा। लेकिन मेरी मंजिल तो कहीं उस शहर में थी, कोटा में थी, जहाँ वो रहती थी। ट्रेन का टाइम अर्ली मॉर्निंग 6:30 था कोटा पहुंचने का। मैंने उसे कहा कि आधा घंटे पहले कॉल करूंगा तो तुम घर से निकलना। पहले तो उससे मिलने के एक्साइटमेंट में मैं रात भर सो ना सका और इसीलिए शायद सुबह वक्त पर उठ ना सका। जब आंख खुली तो ट्रेन कोटा पहुंच चुकी थी। मैंने हड़बड़ाहट में उसे कॉल किया। वो बोली, तुम कितनी देर में पहुंचोगे? मैंने डरते हुए कहा, सॉरी, ट्रेन तो पहुंच चुकी है, वो मैं सो गया था। सुनो, रहने दो, तुम मत आओ। नहीं नहीं, मैं आऊंगी तुमसे मिलने, उसने नाराज होते हुए लेकिन थोड़ी सी खुशी के साथ कहा। लेकिन ट्रेन सिर्फ 10 मिनट रुकती है, तुम पहुंच भी नहीं पाओगी। कॉल डिस्कनेक्ट कर दिया उसने, शायद जल्दी में थी। मैंने फिर कॉल किया, वो ऑटो में थी। देखो, जिद मत करो, वापस जाओ। अब आधे रास्ते आ चुकी हूँ ना, कोई बात नहीं, अगर तुम नहीं मिले तो लौट आऊंगी। वहां स्टेशन पर खड़े खड़े 10 मिनट खत्म हुए और ट्रेन चलने का वक्त हो गया, लेकिन ट्रेन नहीं चली। 10 और मिनट बीत गए, मेरी धड़कनें बढ़ रही थी। मैं कोच के गेट पर खड़ा यहाँ वहां देखता। तभी देखा कि ब्लैक टॉप और ब्लू जीन्स में हाई हील्स पहने वो दौड़ी चली आ रही है। मैं डर गया कि कहीं फिसल ना जाए। हर बार की तरह वो आई, दौड़कर मेरे गले लग गई, और उसके पीछे से वो जो टीसी उसे पुकार रहा था वो उसको इग्नोर करती, स्टेशन पर खड़े लोगों को इग्नोर करती, बस आकर मेरे गले लग गई। हर बार की तरह मैं खामोशी से उसे सुनता और मैंने उसे कहा कि तुम इस ब्लैक टॉप में बहुत खूबसूरत लग रही हो। वो शर्मा गई। 10 और मिनट बीत गए। पता नहीं वो टेक्निकल फॉल्ट था या प्यार करने वालों को मिलवाने की गॉड की प्लानिंग थी। ट्रेन नहीं चली और ये मेरी लाइफ की सबसे ब्यूटीफुल ट्रैवल मेमोरी है। थैंक यू मैम, इट वाज द स्टोरी।
I don't know how many people here are suckers for romance, but that was so romantic. That was so romantic. Thank you, Ragini, for sharing that. And it's beautiful कि सफर में आपका एक खूबसूरत हम सफर है. And I think इससे बढ़कर कोई अच्छी बात नहीं हो सकती है. So, okay, all right. Do we have Bhargo? I believe we have Bhargo. Yes, we have Bhargo.
Hello, everybody. This is my first experience with Clap, and this is the first time I've even written a travel story or I've tried to write one. I hope you all like it. So, my story is about Lakshadweep Island, which I had gone with my family last year in October, and I've named it Set Sail to Lakshadweep. My majestic experience in Lakshadweep started from 12th October, and I enjoyed in those virgin serene islands till 18th October 2019. I could only enjoy my vacation at Lakshadweep as my maternal uncle had researched a lot and also done the bookings for our stay. Lakshadweep is a group of 36 islands from which only 10 are inhabited. It's a land of Muslims. There's only one airport in Lakshadweep in one of its minuscule islands called Agatti. But when you land on that airstrip, it feels heavenly. Water all around, beautiful waves running on that white sand around the airstrip. It was quite a different experience. We usually just go to the belt and collect our luggage. But here, airport workers were dragging our luggage to bring it to us. As soon as we reached, we started to check our phones. There was no network. Then we realized we were on this beautiful island on a mobile free vacation. There was hardly any public transport, just a few cars. But indeed, it was a picturesque view to see lagoons on one side and coral beaches on another side as you were traveling on that narrow strip of land. Then we boarded a high speed carrier from Magati to reach Lakshadweep's capital, Kavaratti. It was a 2.5 hours long journey. They were playing a Malayalam movie. I could hardly understand what they said, but maybe I could figure out what was happening. Kavaratti Island is a small 5.5 kilometer stretch of land in the Arabian Sea. There we stayed in a navy mess with its own private beach with pretty corals all around. Oh, I forgot to tell you, it's prohibited to take corals from the Lakshadweep Islands. This navy mess was situated on the east side of the Kavaratti Islands. There, there were coral beaches. Moving to the west sides, there were lagoons, which are shallow water beaches. There is less of construction on the west side as compared to the east side. On the second day of our journey, we roamed around on the island. There was not much of vegetation, but enormous tall coconut trees. The sweetness of coconut water here cannot be found anywhere in India. Just before the sunset, we went for snorkeling. We went only about 6 meters deep in the sea and saw a variety of fish, but not as much as we were going to see the next day. At last, we went to the jetty to view the charming, peaceful, unforgettable sunset. Oh, nobody would have ever seen a sunset as beautiful as that. The million shades of yellow, red, and orange colliding with the blue sea. Not even an artist could have depicted that scene. Who knew the third day was going to be one of the most adventurous day of my life? Now, you will be thinking, what was I going to do? To tell you, I was about to jump in the sea, 30 meters deep, to visit the world ruled by fishes. Yes, I was about to do scuba diving with a heavy oxygen cylinder on my mask, on my back, and a mask covering half of my face. Don't worry, you cannot feel the oxygen cylinder on your body in water. After that jump, there was a lot of pressure exerted on my ears. It felt my ears were bursting. After all, scuba diving is not everyone's cup of tea. I saw numerous corals with tips of neon blue color. That world was way more attractive than ours. Fishes, colorful, vibrant and dull, white and black, long and short, thin and fat. That was a memory. That world was way more attractive than ours. Fishes, colorful, vibrant and dull, white and black, long and short, thin and fat. That was a memory that will never erase from my mind. I saw numerous corals with tips of neon blue color. As I went deeper, I saw turtles with natural checkered patterns on their backs. I really felt nervous, thinking, would I be encountering a real shark? A wonderful experience. Finally, towards the end of the day, I was climbing many steps, not for exercising, but to reach the top of the lighthouse in Kavaratti to see the sunset. The sunset was much better from that height. I could not take the picture of the sunset from that level as the sun was really bright, but my pictures came out great. The tall, long coconut trees looked like blades of grass from there. For the fourth and the last day of mine at Kavaratti, I went for glass boat ride, where the base of the boat is made out of glass, so one could see fishes, corals, and aquatic life if when the boat was sailing. It was a beautiful view, but not that of scuba diving. It had its own enjoyment. After that, we went to a mosque, a place where the Muslims pray to Allah, their God. It was a lifetime experience to find such a beautiful mosque where a wooden roof was engraved with beautiful designs in a small island. You had to wear a headgear to enter the mosque. I didn't have one, so I tied a scarf on my head. There were also separate entries for males and females. To end the last day in Kavarati, we went to a fish museum where I got a lot of information about fishes and saw much more variety of fishes. There was an aquarium, not like those in a house, but a huge one. This is where I saw two small baby sharks, which I wasn't afraid of, and many other species of fishes. Next day, we set sail to explore another island called Bangaram. This island was a really small piece of land, only 500 meters long. It was a resort island with cottages, restaurant, bar, and helicopter landing area. This is mainly where the foreigners come, as reaching here is not an issue and there are many facilities. Most of the things here were made out of coconut trees, such as the roof, house, furniture. Some part of the trees were left and lights were placed inside them. These lamp-like structures represented street lights. A very intelligent idea, I must say. We could also use them as benches when the lights were off. Also, the stuff here was expensive. We went snorkeling here, not so much different than before, but I found a starfish here which closes itself like a ball to protect itself. I did not forget to bring fish food this time. Whenever I took out fish food in my hand, the fishes would come and eat it. I even felt some fishes. They were really slippery. Near to Bangaram, there were three islands. You could stay on those islands using a tent. More of a camping experience. After that, we had a dinner. Our last dinner was besides the beach, with the sea reflecting the moonlight. Next morning, we sailed to Agati flight to come back home. But I knew I had to come back home. I controlled my emotions and waved off to Lakshmi. Maybe I would come back here in future. Thank you.
That was so wonderful, Bhargav. Bhargav, how old are you?
I just turned 13.
Wow. So you've entered your teenage, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, is it just me or how many of y'all got the feeling of ZNMD and Hrithik Roshan Katrina scene? Those who did, just say yes in the chat box. Bhargav, that was a visual, we could actually visualize. And they say that good writing is making them see, not making them read. And you really made us visualize. So hats off to you on that. Good job, kid, and keep writing. This was your first time and keep it up, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, so up next is Kumudini then.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, friends. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Guys, my travel story today is the date is old, but I think the memory is fresh. Fresh as if yesterday. I'm talking about 1980, when as a part of the French study tour from our college, I had gone with my friends. 5 of our lecturers were there, all lady professors, and 17 of us, 17 girls. We were given the option of either taking a break at the Marseille port or at Rome. We chose to take a break at Rome. We were there for about 5 nights, 4 days and 5 nights. And then from there, we took a coach. And from there, we started moving all around. And I think it was the 6th or the 7th day, because it was a good 3 weeks tour. And this coach was like a mobile house. And everywhere in the evening, we would stay at the Young Women's Christian Association hostels. We had taken that card. And every evening that was fixed. Whichever was the town to stay in the night, we would reach that town by 7 in the evening, no matter what, you know. Now, this is about I think we had left Lake Geneva, the Interlaken area, and we were traveling towards Bern, which is the capital of Switzerland. And from there, we were to go to Toblerone Chocolate Factory. And long before that, traveling along the lake, we saw the beautiful scenic tall pines, winding roads, little bit, like as if somebody had spilled some talcum powder on top of their heads, just residue remaining, little bits of snowflakes on top. And otherwise, the season was lovely. It was sunny, bright, and you could hear occasionally the cow bells, and in the meadows as they were grazing. Of course, our coach was on a little higher gradient and on a winding road. And suddenly, we had a kind of a, each of us was sniffing each other like little kittens or doggies. I don't know why. Hey, what perfume are you wearing? Are you wearing this? What's your? No, this is a nice fragrance. What is this? What's your scent? So, none of us could fathom that what was this lovely fragrance that would take all of us, though none of us are wearing that particular perfume. And then suddenly there was one, a loud gasp, a collective gasp on behalf of all of us. Hey, lavender, look at that, look at that. And mile upon miles of shades of purples and lavenders just, rushed past on both the left and the right side of the highway on which our bus was traveling. And long after we had crossed that entire area, like we were all in a slightly heady stupor, so to say, because it is so heavenly. That fragrance is lovely, inside in the coach, it was like somebody had spilled a whole bottle of lavender perfume. And after that, we crossed that place and we slowly inched into the compound of the Toblerone factory. It must be around 12:30 in the afternoon. And as it is, we left very early in the morning. So most of us wanted to, take some nibble, have something, not really hungry, but then we wouldn't mind having a small bite of some snack or something. And to add to that, before we could enter the factory, a lot of strong smell of cocoa and the typical, the chocolatey smell where, the milk has been put to boil or the cream is frothing and and the chocolate is melting. That lovely aroma encompassed that entire area. And that place again, it was picture perfect, as if somebody had, painted on the earth's canvas, this lovely brick and stone building. It is a fantastic, the factory itself, it's a very beautiful structure. And our professor, Mrs. Lojaf, as the Swiss, the French people would call her, name is Mrs. Joseph. She was our leader, and the manager came in bustling. He took us in and he showed us every stage, right from the cocoa pods that were brought in from the nearby places that were growing small quantums of cocoa pods, but majorly it was brought in from other places around the world. And how it opened, bean sorted out, and then the beans were roasted, they're ground into dark, lovely, heavenly chocolate. The varying stages, one after the other, around the factory, it took us around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. It was a beautiful tour, and it is lovely to see how what we so easily take for granted, a bar of chocolate in my hand. So much effort, so much of science, so much of technique, so much of experience goes into it, and it's a massive teamwork of hundreds of people put together. And then we were ushered into a lovely, large ballroom-like hall, and I could only imagine, that any moment a band would play, and the prince and princesses will come in the flowing, some kind of a lavish royal ballroom dance party or something like that. But because the tapestry was so beautiful, the chandeliers inside were, the lovely Danish from Denmark, beautiful crystal chandeliers were there, and very fine gold thread tapestry work was there. Seat covers and on curtains hanging. I mean, even the inside of that room where we were ushered in, so the manager wanted to give us gifts. They thought, and everywhere where we went, people thought we were means all children. We were youngsters, so we were graduate students. But the kids who are big men, and really tall and broad with the girls or boys. And our size, I mean, looking at us, they thought we were from some 10th standard or something, because their 9th standard and 10th standard kids were, some of them were even taller than us, whereas we were graduate students. So he came in, and I still remember it was one elbow length of Toblerone bar, and each one of us had got 4 bars, in fact, beautifully in a little basket. And also he gave us a tiny St. Bernard pup. I mean, it's a stuffed toy, a little toy, because Bern's symbol is the golden bear, which they have a large pit when you enter the city. This golden bear pit greets you. It's a very beautiful sight. At the same time, for an animal lover like me, I would feel that, why are they, holding this bear captive? Because there were some 8 or 10 large male and female golden bears, and 7 or 8 little cubs. But it's a beautiful sight to see, no doubt. At the same time, I felt a little sad that because of all of them being imprisoned there, though it's a very large and comfortable enclosure. Anyway, back to the Toblerone factory. We took these bars. All of us said, "Merci beaucoup," that is, thank you to all of them, and left in the coach. And while we just left the factory, hardly 5 minutes drive, there in France and all over because Switzerland is shared on either side by the French and the Italians. So you have these places called Bon Marché, like the D-Mart, which we have in our cities. Every main road will have a Bon Marché at 2 corners, and this Bon Marché was there just hardly 5 minutes away. And when we stopped there because some of the other students wanted to buy some yogurt or some little knickknacks, and I didn't get down. I didn't want to buy anything because I had everything. And as I was waiting, I noticed that the door of that Bon Marché, a few farmers had just stopped their truck and they were unloading some groceries and some fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So I just got down and took a peek to see it, and I was more fascinated by the butterflies flying in and out of that particular truck. And when they saw me, and then after that they noticed that, okay, we are part of this group, and a lot of other young girls, some of them going into the Bon Marché and some of them coming into the bus, coming back, buying whatever they wanted to buy. The surprise gift that we had that day, all of us, all 21 of us, they are professors, and the 17 girls, all of us got 3 crates each of peach, pears, and plums. Each plum was as large as our palm. First time in our life we had seen such big fruits, and they insisted that we take those fruits, and they gave all of us 3 cartons, and each carton, tiny carton, had 4 pieces. That is 4 pears, 4 peaches, and 4 plums. And we were just thrilled. It was way beyond lunchtime. We all piled into the coach, and we had a lovely, sumptuous, fruity lunch, so to say. And we just drove on to our next destination. So that is my travel story, guys. I hope you liked it.
काफी रस भरी थी आपकी कहानी कुमुदिनी जी.
Thank you.
All right. Up next is Manisha.
Hello, Neha.
Hi, Manisha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. So
And
what
have
do we
you
hear from you? Sorry?
मैं अफ्रीका में रहती हूँ, तो आप लोगों को अफ्रीका ही दिखाऊंगी.
चलिए, let's start our African safari then.
Actually, safari, चलिए मैं पूरा बात करती हूँ. जब लक्षद्वीप का स्टोरी चल रहा था, that time I was thinking, yes, something related to this I am going to tell. क्योंकि बहुत कुछ चलता है. जिंदगी जो हमारी है ना, ये पूरा एक सफर ही तो है. हम बचपन से चलते हैं और हर दिन हम कुछ नया सीखते हैं, हर नई जगह जाते हैं, कुछ नया हर दिन हमें देखने को सीखने को मिलता है. और ऐसे में जब हम घूमने जाते हैं तो मेमोरीज एक नहीं, बहुत सारी बनती जाती है. हर ट्रैवल टाइम की एक अलग स्टोरी होती है, एक अलग मेमोरी होती है. लेकिन एज आई टोल्ड यू, आई विल टेल यू द अफ्रीका, क्योंकि अफ्रीका को लेकर हमारे वहाँ पे कुछ मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग्स हैं. बहुत ही ज्यादा उसको समझते हैं कि बिल्कुल ही पिछड़ा हुआ है, गांव से भी बदतर है. बट गाइस, दैट इज नॉट द सीन. ऐसा नहीं है. और दूसरी बात ये कि जो मैंने देखा है, जब भी कभी किसी को कहती हूँ कि मैं केन्या में रहती हूँ, उनको समझ नहीं आता एंड दे आस्क मी अगेन, तो मैं कहती हूँ अफ्रीका, तो सबको लगता है ओ साउथ अफ्रीका। दैट इज ऑल्सो अनदर थिंग कि अफ्रीका इज नॉट ओनली साउथ अफ्रीका। हाँ, वो फेमस है जस्ट बिकॉज हमारे फादर ऑफ नेशन गांधी जी वहां रहते थे। बट नाउ कम टू द पॉइंट, मैंने अफ्रीका में 2 कंट्रीज देखी है, नाइजीरिया एंड नाउ आई एम इन केन्या। नाइजीरिया कह सकती हूँ बहुत ज्यादा, मतलब नेचर वाइज खूबसूरत है, लेकिन टूरिज्म के हिसाब से इतना खूबसूरत नहीं है। मगर केन्या इज फेमस वर्ल्ड वाइड फॉर द टूरिज्म। रीजन बीइंग, वर्ल्ड का जो लार्जेस्ट सफारी है वो केन्या में है, मसाई मारा। लेकिन मैं आपको आज वहां भी नहीं ले जाऊंगी। मैं लेके चलूंगी आपको यहाँ के बीचेस पर। यहाँ के बीचेस ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन नहीं करूंगी क्योंकि लक्षद्वीप के बीचेस और यहाँ के बीचेस में बहुत ज्यादा फर्क नहीं होगा। लेकिन जो एक अमेजिंग सी चीज, एक अलग सी चीज मैंने देखी अपनी जिंदगी में पहली बार, वो मैं आप सबके साथ शेयर करूंगी। तो ऐसी थी मेरी स्टोरी कि केन्या आने के बाद 2-3 फैमिलीज के साथ बहुत ही ज्यादा अच्छी बॉन्डिंग हो गई। इतनी अच्छी बॉन्डिंग हो गई कि हर वीकेंड पे निकल पड़ते थे हम अपनी अपनी गाड़ियां लेकर, और नैरोबी के आसपास की छोटी छोटी जो सिटीज हैं, जो छोटी छोटी सेंचुरीज हैं, हमने सब देख डाली थी। अभी न्यू ईयर बीता ही था कि प्लान चल रहा था कुछ ना कुछ बड़ा किया जाए, कहीं लंबा चल के आते हैं ना, बहुत हो गए छोटे छोटे ट्रिप्स। और देखा हमने कि 1 मई जो आ रही है उसके आसपास लॉन्ग वीकेंड है। तो लॉन्ग वीकेंड के आसपास अगर 1 या 2 दिन की छुट्टी ले ली जाए तो इट कैन बी अ बिग हॉलीडे। बस डिसाइड हो गया, बच्चों को किस तरह छुट्टी करवानी है, हस्बैंड्स कैसे लेंगे, वो प्लान हो गया। नाउ हमें कहाँ जाना था? जाना था हमें मोम्बासा। नैरोबी अपने आप में एक हिल स्टेशन है। सब लोग सरप्राइज होंगे कि अफ्रीका इज अ हॉट प्लेस, बट नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। अफ्रीका में भी अलग अलग टेम्परेचर वाली सिटीज हैं, और नैरोबी इज लाइक अ हिल स्टेशन। हमारे घरों में यहाँ पंखे भी नहीं होते। तो यहाँ के लोगों को एक एडवेंचर होता है कहाँ जाने का? मोम्बासा। मोम्बासा इज द प्लेस ऑफ बीचेस एंड इट्स इंडियन ओशियन, और बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल बीचेस हैं यहाँ के, जस्ट लाइक दीव और लक्षद्वीप, यू कैन से, उतने ही खूबसूरत बीचेस हैं। तो बस हमने भी प्लान किया कि जाएंगे। नाउ नैरोबी से इट इज 500 किलोमीटर्स फार, और जाने के लिए आप फ्लाइट ले सकते हैं। अब तो ट्रेन्स भी चलती हैं, मगर उस वक्त ट्रेन्स नहीं चलती थी। हमने सोचा एडवेंचर किया जाए, सीधे सीधे चले जाने में क्या मजा है, व्हाई नॉट टेकिंग अ रोड ट्रिप। तो बस प्लानिंग शुरू हुई। वी वर 15 पीपल, और ढूंढी गई एक बस जिसमें हम 15 लोग बैठकर जा सके। उसके बाद ढूंढा गया एक विला, ऑफ कोर्स बीच हाउस, बिकॉज हमें तो बीचेस ही एंजॉय करने थे ना। तो बस ये सारी सर्चिंग, और उसके बाद वहां ले जाने के लिए, रास्ते के लिए खाने का सामान, वहां पकाने के लिए, वहां पे टाइम बिताने के लिए आपको खाना तो चाहिए, तो वो सारी प्रिपरेशन। और उसके बाद एक साथ जब जाते हैं तो एक एक्साइटमेंट होता है ना, चलो 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 हम साथ में एक जैसे कपड़े पहनेंगे। तो बस उसकी शॉपिंग, ये समझो कि मोम्बासा जाना हमारा 3 महीने का प्रोजेक्ट हो गया था। हमने 3 महीने उसकी जमकर तैयारी की, और फुल ऑन एक्साइटमेंट के साथ हम चल दिए अपने सफर पर। हमने रात की ट्रैवलिंग की। कहते हैं यहाँ रात को घूमना सेफ नहीं है, बट नहीं, केन्या इज सेफ। तो बहुत मजा आया। इनफैक्ट रात को ढाबे में हमने ऊंट के दूध की चाय पी, विच वॉज अमेजिंग। और इसके बाद जब हम पहुंचे मोम्बासा, तो वाकई बीचेस देखकर दिल खुश हो गया। लेकिन उस दिन जो मैंने देखा वो एक अजूबे की तरह मेरे सामने आया। कुदरत का एक अनोखा रंग, कुदरत का ये कह सकते हो कि ये जो हमारी नेचर है, उसके पास भी अपने 7 वंडर्स हैं। तो कुछ वैसा ही वंडर मैंने देखा एक ही दिन में, नेचर का जो शेड मैंने देखा। जब हम वहां पहुंचे सुबह, हमारे विला से बिल्कुल पास में जो ठंडी ठंडी लहरें समंदर की आ रही थी, बिल्कुल हमारे बाउंड्री वॉल तक छू कर जा रही थी। बड़े खुश कि अरे वाह, मजा आ गया। हम लोग गए, फ्रेशन अप होकर जैसे ही बाहर आए, समंदर काफी पीछे जा चुका था। 10 बजे के लगभग समंदर, ये समझिए करीब 500 मीटर दूर जा चुका था। फिर शाम हुई, शाम को फिर से समंदर हमारे बीच हाउस के बिल्कुल बाउंड्री वॉल पर था। 8 बजे करीब हम घूम रहे थे। थोड़ा सा दूर था समंदर, लेकिन हम उसे एंजॉय कर पा रहे थे। बहुत ही टाइनी टाइनी व्हाइट क्रैब्स पूरे बीच पर घूमते हैं। रात में हम बीच पर नहीं जा सकते वहां, क्योंकि वो क्रैब्स घूमते हैं, लेकिन देखकर नजारा ले सकते हैं। अच्छा लगा, बहुत ही प्यारी हवा चल रही थी, बहुत अच्छा मौसम था। ये भी हुआ, लौट गए हम डिनर विनर के बाद। अब बीच के लिए ही आए हैं ना, तो बीच तो दिन में 10 बार देखेंगे। रात को 10 बजे हम वापस से लौटे वहां। आप यकीन नहीं करेंगे, क्रिकेट का मैदान होता है ना, उससे भी बड़ी जगह खाली हो चुकी थी। समंदर इतना पीछे जा चुका था। एंड दैट वाज द थिंग, आई वाज लाइक, ओ माय गॉड, नेचर हैज सो मेनी सरप्राइजेस फॉर अस। मुझे लगा ये शायद ज्वार भाटा की वजह से है, जो हम कहते हैं ना कि अमावस पर और पूनम पर ऐसा होता है कि बहुत बड़ी बड़ी लहरें आती है और उछाल मारती हैं। पर देखा, मैंने चेक किया, उस दिन ज्वार भाटा तो नहीं था। अमावस के 2-4 दिन के बाद की बात थी, लेकिन फिर भी ये नजारा था। दिन में अगले दिन हम जिस बीच पे गए थे, आइलैंड पे गए थे, उस आइलैंड पर जाने के लिए हमने जहाँ से बोट ली, वहां तक जाने के लिए हम करीब आधा किलोमीटर पैदल चल के गए। और उस आइलैंड पर जब एंजॉय कर रहे थे, हमें उस बोट वाले ने बोला, आप जल्दी कीजिए, यहाँ ज्यादा देर रुकना ठीक नहीं। हमें समझ नहीं आया वो क्यों कह रहा है, लेकिन आखिरकार उसके कहने की वजह से हम लौटे। बोट में बैठकर जब हम रवाना हुए, तो देखा वो आइलैंड पूरी तरह पानी में डूब चुका है। तो एक ही दिन में समंदर के इतने उतार और इतने चढ़ाव जो हमने देखे, ये हमारे लिए अमेजिंग थे, अमेजिंग। मैंने अपनी लाइफ में बहुत सारी जगह ट्रैवल किया है। इनफैक्ट जब अभी वो यूरोप की स्टोरी सुना रही थी, तब भी मैं खुद यूरोप में घूम रही थी। यहाँ पे मसाई मारा भी देखा है, जो कि बेस्ट वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है। कहते हैं कि यहाँ लोग अक्सर लायंस देखने आते हैं, बट लायन नहीं देखना था मुझे। लायंस तो हमारे इंडिया में भी बहुत देखने को मिल जाते हैं। मुझे जो देखने थे, वो जो सिर्फ यहीं देखने मिलते हैं, वो हैं हमारे ज़ीब्रास, जिराफ्स, और जिसके बारे में हम लास्ट टाइम बात कर रहे थे, हिप्पोपोटामस। बड़े आराम से, बड़ी शान से हम कहे जा रहे थे, हमने हिप्पोपोटामस की नोज को टच किया। हमने कहा हाँ, इमेजिनेशन में कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल। दैट एनिमल इज एनॉर्मस बिग। लेकिन जो मैंने सबसे ज्यादा महसूस किया, हमारे नेचर का, हमारी प्रकृति का ये अनोखा सा रंग, मैंने सोचा आज उसी को आपके साथ शेयर करूं। क्योंकि कहानियां तो हम वैसे भी सुनाएंगे और सुनाते रहेंगे, लेकिन ये एक ऐसी चीज है, ये जो एक एक्सपीरियंस है, मेरे दिल की गहराइयों में छप गया है। मैं आज भी आंख बंद कर कर उस नजारे को इमेजिन कर सकती हूँ कि कैसे कितना किलोमीटर दूर तक वो समंदर खाली हो गया था, पूरा दूर तक एक मैदान जो 2 घंटे पहले तक हमारे पैरों तक था।
Wow. Yes, nature does work in miraculous ways. Also, okay, so guys, agle hafte we are doing a Hindi special poetry open mic, and Manisha is going to be hosting it. So we will all be meeting again next week on Monday at 7 o'clock. And you guys have heard Manisha tell us a story. Next week, she's going to be telling us poems and making you guys tell poems as well. So yes, see you again next week, Manisha.
Thank you, and please be there. और हिंदी की कविताएं सबसे ज्यादा, मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है हिंदी ऐसी भाषा है जो बहुत जल्दी दिल तक छू के जाती है। तो हिंदी की कविताएं सुनने में बहुत मजा आने वाला है।
मैं सुनाने के लिए बेकरार हूँ और ना बोलने के लिए बेकरार हूँ।
बिल्कुल, अगले हफ्ते मिलते हैं शाम 7 बजे.
Definitely. So up next is Geeta Chakraborty.
Hello, Neha. Good evening. Good
Good
evening, all
evening.
my
How are
friends.
you?
Fine, thank you, dear. This is about an experience that I had just a few months back. It was last year. I was traveling from Chennai to Kolkata, and my ticket was booked on Coromandel Express. I was traveling alone, and as is my habit, I reached the station pretty early. I had ample time in hand, so I headed for the Higginbotham's bookstore. You must be aware, Chennai Central Station has this Higginbotham's bookstore all over. So I headed for one of their kiosks to pick up a magazine or two to take care of me during this 24 hours journey. So I was there at the store looking at the magazines and the books. A book on physical fitness, that caught my attention. While I was browsing through it, I heard a loud giggle. I could hear laughter just behind me. So what happened? I just turned around and I found a group of boys and girls. They were giggling. And I assumed that they were laughing at me. I wondered why. But when they saw me looking at them, they stopped. They stopped laughing. And immediately what they did, they just moved away with their luggage. Okay, fine. They moved away with their luggage. I took the book from the store, I bought it, and then I started heading towards my compartment. I just had a backpack and a trolley bag, that's all. I got into the compartment, okay, and as I was getting into the compartment, again, that same giggly laughter, I looked back, the same boys and girls. I said, okay, fine, same boys and girls, young boys and girls laughing and enjoying. And what happened? I got my seat. I found out my berth. I kept my luggage under the berth, and I settled down. I was quite comfortable. And then what do I see? I saw the same girls and boys. There were 5 of them, 3 girls and 2 boys. They were my co-passengers. I thought to myself, that means giggling and laughter. That's going to be that's going to make my journey. Fine. They gave me a beaming smile. I smiled back at them. Okay. Again, they smiled at me, but again, I smiled back at them. The ticket checker came, checked our tickets. Fine. Everything happened. And I found these youngsters looking at me. They were passing remarks and quite audible. You know, the remarks were pretty audible, and they were all again laughing together. I also started enjoying. They were speaking Tamil. These energetic youngsters, they were so full of enthusiasm. Somehow, I found what intrigued me was, why was I the only topic for them? Nothing else? Anyway, I just ignored them. And the pantry car, this guys from the pantry car, they started selling their wares and all. This train had already started. But I didn't get anything from the pantry car. Because I was carrying my own food. I enjoyed my sumptuous meal. And all this while, these youngsters' eyes were on me. Then what happened? I went to the toilet. I went to the washroom just to have a good look at myself in the mirror. If something is wrong with me, is something out of place? I thought to myself, no, everything is okay. I came back to my berth. I smiled at them, and then the berth just opposite me was going vacant. Okay, I gestured to one of them to come and occupy the berth just opposite me. Instead of just huddling together, 5 of them in 3 berths. Okay, they were all enjoying each other's company, that's all. One of the girls, she came, and along with her, another girl also came. Then it was my one-sided conversation. I said, my name is Geeta Chakraborty. My age is 6060. I'm a vegetarian. I'm an educator. I love to wear jeans and shirts. I travel a lot. And when I was studying all this, they were totally aghast. And then I asked them, anything else you want to know about me? They were just mum. They just kept quiet. Then one of the boys, he asked, ma'am, but how could you understand what we were talking? I said, my dear little children, Tamil is my mother tongue. தெரியுமா தமிழ் என்னோட mother tongue. புரிஞ்சுதா? You understand? They were totally dumbstruck. You know, they didn't know what to say. Then one of these boys, he quipped, but ma'am, we checked on the passenger list, but your name says Geeta Chakraborty, B-O-R-T-Y. That's how the Bengali spell their names, you know, Chakraborty. I said, yes, I'm a Tamilian married to a Chakraborty. Now you understand, my dear friends? Oh my God, ma'am, we've been talking so many things. In fact, we had a bet, we had a challenge. What will be your age? How come at this age you are still so fit? This and that. At this age you are wearing jeans and top, but look at ourselves. We are, you know, round the belly, we have flesh, we can't jog, this, that, and all. I said, I have taken all those as compliments, my dear friends. Don't feel bad about it. And what a way to start a journey. And after that, I came to know that these young boys and girls were students of SRM College. They were, you know, coming to Kolkata on a holiday. They wanted to visit so many places. And believe me, Neha, since then, for the past 7 months, they have become very good friends of mine. In fact, I've taken them out to Victoria Memorial and all that. And we have become very good friends. Yes, travel friends have become very good friends, all little ones, but they are wonderful lot. This is something I wanted to share with you all.
This is so lovely, ma'am. I think it's a classic example for don't judge a book by its cover. And
Yes.
if you hadn't told us, we would not have realized you're 60, ma'am. And
last year I was 60. Today I'm 61, ma'am, Neha.
Okay. All right. So, but it is lovely to know that. And thank you. It's really inspiring and very motivating. And it's a really humorous episode. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
And we
all.
hope to see you more regularly. We've been seeing you for the past few events, and we hope to see you next time.
I'm with Clap till my last day.
Oh, so sweet, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So coming up next is Aparajita.
Hi.
Yes, got you. Hi.
Hi, Neha. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
And yeah, I'm good. And जिनको भी मैं अभी सुन रही थी, थैंक्स इतने सारे अलग अलग ट्रैवल एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करने के लिए. मेरी भी ट्रैवल स्टोरी है, थोड़ी वियर्ड है लेकिन आप सबको अच्छी लगेगी. सो बेसिकली हनीमून स्टोरी है. आज से तकरीबन 15 साल पहले की स्टोरी है. इस स्टोरी का नाम भी मैंने दिया है हेलो दीदी. तो ये स्टोरी शुरू होती है हनीमून से. सो मैं और मेरे हस्बैंड हनीमून की प्लानिंग कर रहे थे. जैसे कि आपको पता है कि आज से 15 साल पहले इतने ट्रैवल एजेंट नहीं होते थे, इतनी सारी बुकिंग साइट्स नहीं होती थी. तो हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि कहाँ जाए. मुझे हिल स्टेशन काफी पसंद है, लेकिन मेरी सारी सहेलियां हनीमून के लिए मनाली गई थी, तो मैं मनाली नहीं जाना चाहती थी. तो मैंने बोला कहीं और चलते हैं. तो हमने डिसाइड किया कि गैंगटॉक चलते हैं. तो गैंगटॉक की टिकट हुई, हम गैंगटॉक के लिए रवाना हुए. और जैसे कि बताया वहाँ साइट वगैरह कुछ चलती नहीं थी, तो होटल तभी जाके बुक करना था. ट्रेन काफी लेट हो चुकी थी, तो गैंगटॉक पहुंचते पहुंचते काफी रात हो गई थी. लगेज भी हमारे पास काफी था. तो यूजुअली हिल स्टेशन में एक एरिया होता है जिसको मॉल एरिया बोलते हैं, जहाँ पे मार्केट्स वगैरह सब रहते हैं. तो टैक्सी ड्राइवर ने हमें वहाँ पे उतार दिया और बोला कि आप आसपास के लोकल लोगों से पूछ लीजिए और कोई होटल या होम स्टे आप ढूंढ लीजिए. तो आज से 15 साल पहले ऐसा था कि ना गैंगटॉक के लोगों को ज्यादा हिंदी आती थी और ना हमें उनकी चीजें ज्यादा समझ में आती थी. गूगल वगैरह का तो उतना कुछ फैसिलिटी भी नहीं था. तो जो भी है, हम पूछते पाछते यहाँ वहाँ काफी देर हो गई. तो हम 6 बजे कुछ मॉल के रोड में पहुंचे थे और ढूंढते ढूंढते 8 साढ़े 8 बज गए थे. तो फिर भी हमें कुछ खास कोई अच्छी जगह मिली नहीं. एंड देन फिर मेरे हस्बैंड ने बोला कि ठीक है, मॉल से चलते चलते हम काफी दूर आ गए हैं, तो ठीक है तुम यहाँ पे खड़े रहो, वहाँ आसपास कुछ लोकल लोग दिख रहे हैं, ग्रुप ऑफ लोकल पीपल, मैं जाके उनसे पूछता हूँ। तो उसने भी ध्यान नहीं दिया कि मैं जिस जगह पे खड़ी हुई थी वो जस्ट एक हिल साइड था, रास्ते के किनारे था, एक तरफ गहरी खाई थी और साइड हिल के साइड में था। और जैसा कि आपको पता है कि जब हिल स्टेशन में रात बहुत जल्दी, मतलब शाम बहुत जल्दी हो जाती है और कोहरा होने लगता है, तो 8 साढ़े 8 के वक्त में बहुत कोहरा घना हो गया था। और मेरे हस्बैंड वहाँ आसपास किसी लोकल जो ग्रुप है उनसे पूछने गए कि होम स्टे वगैरह है कि नहीं। मैं वहाँ खड़ी थी अपने लगेज के साथ और डर तो काफी लग रहा था क्योंकि रात हो चुकी थी, कोहरा था और हिल स्टेशन पे। तो खैर डरते हुए मैं खड़ी थी, तभी अचानक मुझे पीछे से किसी ने आके ऐसा टच किया और मैं बहुत डर गई। पीछे मुड़कर देखा तो देखा एक छोटा सा बच्चा खड़ा हुआ था। उस बच्चे को देखकर ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे वो पूरे दिन से घर नहीं गया है और बाहर ही खेल रहा था, धूल से बिल्कुल सना हुआ था वो बच्चा। बट उसकी हंसी जो है वो आज भी मुझे याद है, बहुत ही ब्राइट हंसी थी उसकी। तो उसने हंसते हुए अपनी लोकल नेपाली लैंग्वेज में मुझे कुछ बोला, जिसमें से मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया। सिर्फ 2 शब्द मुझे समझ में आए, होटल और दीदी, ये दोनों मुझे समझ में आए। और तभी हंसते हंसते उसने मुझे एक विजिटिंग कार्ड दिया जिसमें कुछ एड्रेस लिखा हुआ था और वो उसने मुझे थमा दिया और थैंक यू बोल के वो वहां से चला गया। थोड़ी देर के बाद मेरे हस्बैंड आए तो मैंने उनको वो कार्ड दिया। मैंने बोला कि एक बच्चा आया था, उसकी भाषा मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आई, लेकिन इस कार्ड से ऐसा लगता है कि यहाँ आसपास कहीं होम स्टे है और हमें जाकर देखना चाहिए। तो मेरे हस्बैंड ने बोला ठीक है चलो, एड्रेस तो पास का ही मालूम पड़ता है, हम चलते हैं। फिर हम ढूंढते हुए उस जगह पे पहुंचे तो वहाँ जो एक बहुत ही एल्डरली कपल थे वहाँ पे, तो उन्होंने दरवाजा खोला। उनकी शक्ल पे एक बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क था कि इतनी रात को ये कहाँ से आए हैं। तो खैर लोकल लैंग्वेज समझने में बहुत देरी लगी, लेकिन जब उनको समझ में आया कि हम उनके होटल में रहने आए हैं तो बहुत खुश हो गए। उनकी आंखों में एक अलग सी चमक आ गई और उन्होंने बहुत ही गर्मजोशी से हमारा स्वागत किया, हमें खाने के लिए दिया जो कि हमें बहुत उस टाइम हमें बहुत रिक्वायर्ड था उस चीज का। तो हमें खाने के लिए दिया और अपने ही घर के ऊपर वाला जो उनका घर था वहां पे हमको रहने के लिए जगह दी। रात काफी हो चुकी थी तो हम जल्दी ही सो गए। दूसरे दिन की सुबह बहुत जल्दी मेरी नींद खुली। तो जैसे ही मैंने अपने घर की खिड़की खोली तो वो जो सीन था वो बहुत ही रिफ्रेशिंग सीन था। मेरे घर की खिड़की से जहां तक मेरी नजर जा रही थी चाय के बागान थे और चाय के खेत थे। उन चाय के खेतों पर लड़कियां बहुत ही मधुर सा गाना गाते हुए पत्तियां तोड़ रही थी। तो वो दृश्य बहुत ही रिफ्रेशिंग था। तो उसी के साथ फिर हमने एक उनसे ही पूछकर एक टैक्सी ड्राइवर हमने हायर किया और फिर हम गैंगटॉक में घूमे। उस दिन पूरा दिन हम गैंगटॉक में घूमे और शाम को टैक्सी ड्राइवर ने वही हमें वो मॉल के रोड में लाकर उन्होंने हमें छोड़ दिया। उन्होंने बोला अभी यहाँ से आपका घर, आपका जो होम स्टे है वो वॉकिंग डिस्टेंस है, आप जा सकते हैं। जैसे ही हम टैक्सी से उतरे तो मेरे हस्बैंड को अचानक से याद आया कि उनका बैग और उनका मफलर टैक्सी में ही रह गया है। तो वो दौड़े टैक्सी के पीछे और मैंने रियलाइज किया कि मैं उसी जगह पे खड़ी हूँ जहां मैं कल खड़ी थी जब मेरी मुलाकात उस बच्चे से हुई थी। और मैं ऐसा सोच ही रही थी कि अचानक वो बच्चा मेरे सामने आ जाता है। मैं उससे कुछ पूछती हूँ, वो मुझे कुछ बताता है जो कि हम दोनों के समझ में नहीं आता। लेकिन हाँ, एक चीज थी जो बहुत खास थी, उसके हाथों में जंगली फूलों का एक गुलदस्ता था जो वो मेरे हाथ में देता है और थैंक यू बोल के वहां से दौड़ के चला जाता है। और उसकी थैंक यू की आवाज पूरे वादियों में जैसे एको हो रही थी। तो इतना अच्छा मुझे लग रहा था, थैंक यू दीदी, इतना बोल के वो दौड़ के चला जाता है। तो मैं अपने हस्बैंड को वो बात शेयर करती हूँ तो वो मेरे हस्बैंड बोलते हैं वो बच्चा नहीं, कोई फरिश्ता है हमारे लिए। फिर ऐसे करके हम गैंगटॉक घूमते हैं 2 दिन। गैंगटॉक बहुत ही अच्छी जगह है तो वहां पे घूमते हैं। तीसरे दिन हमारी वापसी का दिन होता है तो हम अपना सामान पैक करके नीचे आते हैं। टैक्सी ड्राइवर ऑलरेडी हमारा वेट कर रहा होता है। जब हम नीचे आते हैं तो थोड़ा अजीब सा हमें लगता है उस दिन, क्योंकि यूजुअली जो एल्डरली कपल हमको बहुत गर्म जोशी से हमारा स्वागत करते थे हमेशा, आज वो बहुत उदास से दिख रहे थे। तो मैं टैक्सी ड्राइवर को बहुत ही उत्सुकता से सरप्राइजिंगली ये पूछती हूँ कि आज क्या बात है और आज इतना यहाँ इतनी शांति क्यों है, और एक दरवाजे के एक कोने पे एक किसी की तस्वीर लगी हुई है, वहाँ पे बहुत सारे फूलों से वो तस्वीर सजी हुई है और उसके सामने काफी सारे कैंडल्स जल रहे हैं और वो कपल भी थोड़े सैड से दिख रहे हैं। तो मैंने उनसे पूछा टैक्सी ड्राइवर से कि क्या बात है, तो उन्होंने मुझे एक्सप्लेन किया कि ये जो तस्वीर आपको दिख रही है दूर से, तो वो तस्वीर मुझे दिख नहीं रही थी क्योंकि उसके सामने काफी सारे कैंडल जल रहे थे जिसका रिफ्लेक्शन उस फोटो फ्रेम में आ रहा था, तो मुझे तस्वीर ठीक से नहीं दिख रही थी फ्रेम। तो उन्होंने बोला वो जो फोटो आपको दिख रही है, ये जो एल्डरली कपल है, इनका वो छोटा सा नाती है और जो इनकी बेटी, ये कपल की जो बेटी है उनका पहले ही देहांत हो गया था, लेकिन आज से ठीक 1 साल पहले उनका जो नाती है वो खेलने गया था यहाँ जो आसपास के जगह पे, फिर वो वापस नहीं आया। 2 दिन के बाद उस बच्चे की लाश मिलती है और पुलिस ने बताया कि शायद किसी ट्रक के धक्के से वो बच्चा नीचे खाई में गिर जाता है और उसकी डेथ हो जाती है। तो ये सुनकर मेरा दिल बहुत भर गया और फिर मैंने सोचा चलिए ठीक है, जाते समय मैं अपनी तरफ से वहां पे एक बार जाके प्रेयर कर लेती हूँ उस बच्चे के लिए। तो मैं उस फोटो की तरफ धीरे धीरे बढ़ रही थी और आप विश्वास नहीं करेंगे, मैं जैसे जैसे उस तस्वीर की तरफ बढ़ रही थी मेरे शरीर सुन्न पड़ता जा रहा था। मेरे सोचने समझने की शक्ति धीरे धीरे कम हो रही थी और ठीक जैसे ही मैं उस तस्वीर के सामने पहुंची, मैं आपको बयान नहीं कर पाऊंगी, ये उसी बच्चे की तस्वीर थी जो पिछले 2 दिनों से मुझसे मिल रहा था, मुझे कार्ड दिया उसने, मुझे उसने फ्लावर दिया, ये वही बच्चा था। और ये बात मैं अपने हस्बैंड को एक्सप्लेन करूंगी, इतने में मैं फेंट हो जाती हूँ और जब मुझे होश आता है तो मैं टैक्सी में होती हूँ, तो मेरे हस्बैंड मुझसे वो पूछते हैं लेकिन मेरी आवाज नहीं निकलती है और मैं उनको कुछ नहीं बता पाती हूँ उस वक्त। और मैं पूरा ट्रैवल गैंगटॉक से लेकर कोलकाता तक जो ट्रैवल है, मैं सिर्फ रोती रहती हूँ। फिर बाद में मैं अपना होश संभालती हूँ और मैं अपने हस्बैंड को बोलती हूँ कि आपने जो कहा था वो सच था, ये वही फरिश्ता था जिसने मेरी मदद की, हम लोगों की मदद की और अपने बूढ़े दादा दादी की मदद की। मुझे पता नहीं कितने लोग इस चीज को विश्वास करेंगे, बट हाँ, ये मेरे साथ हुआ है ये चीज। और आज भी जब मैं ये स्टोरी सुना रही हूँ मेरे हाथ पांव कांप रहे हैं, तो इट हैपेंस और सच में फरिश्ते होते हैं।
Okay. You know, there are those times जब आप कुछ कह नहीं पाते, you just want to be in that moment.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, not gonna say anything. ये लम्हा है, इसको जिसको जिस तरह से जीना है, एक्सपीरियंस करना है, whatever you all are feeling, just flow in that moment, and you're blessed that you had such an experience, because
Thank you.
ऐसे चीजें बहुत कम लोगों के साथ होती हैं, and आपके हनीमून पे हुआ तो और भी एक अलग उसका एक रहता है यादी। And just stay in this moment, guys. I really don't know, I have nothing to say. I'm just going to take a moment and call out the next participant. That's about it.
Thank you. Clap को मैं thanks चाहूंगी कि मुझे ये मौका enjoy कर रही हूँ. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Up next is Rishabh.
Short story I'm going to share. I was actually, this was basically in Dubai. I was traveling from work to home, and basically for all, this was basically traveling from New Dubai to Old Dubai. So for all those who don't know New Dubai, Old Dubai is the distance between Churchgate and Andheri. So it's about 30 to 40 kilometers. I had one of my office colleagues who was, taking a taxi. I would normally take a metro. So I was like, wow, I'll take a ride. So it was one of those days, in Dubai, they've got only one temple, which is in Old Dubai. And that happened to be the day when I wanted to go and visit the temple. And it was a weekend. So my friend, my colleague in office was very, forcing me to go out with him, go out to the bar and drink. I don't drink, but he wanted me to come since, we were office colleagues, and in that 45-minute taxi journey, he kept etching me that, you should come, why don't you come with us, we'll have fun, etc. And giving me all kind of temptations, etc. Because Dubai is a lot of glamour. It's a very glamorous city about about alcohol, etc., etc. So he was giving me all the the temptation that you should come, or I know you don't drink, but at least come, enjoy the atmosphere, the bar, etc. And I was just avoiding him. For me, it was so I was just going to the temple and then again coming back. So it was like taking a journey to the temple and again coming back to New Dubai. It was like a 1 hour go, and it was just days in the month where I said, I'll go to the temple and go come back. And he was very insistent. And then finally he realized that he's not going to budge. He will finally go to the temple. He's not going to come with us. So finally, we both of us get off. This is just about 200 meters away from the temple. At a place we both get off, and we both start walking. And suddenly he realizes that his phone is not in the pocket. He realizes that he's forgotten his phone in the cab. So he's like, "Can you call on my phone?" I call and it's switched off. I said it's switched off. He said, "Try again." He switched off. So he's like, "Can you come? Can we go to the police station?" I said, "Yeah, but we don't have the cab number. We don't have the taxi number. We don't have any details." So I was like, look, well, let's do this. I'll just go to the temple and come back, and then I'll come with you and we can go to the police station. So he's all worried, and he's like, "Okay, He said, "Okay, I'll wait here." He's he was a Catholic, so he said, "Okay, I'll wait here. You go and come back." So I go inside. I see a lot of crowd over there. I go just bow down, pray, and then I come back in 5 minutes. And I come back, and he's insistent that let's go to the police station. So we go back to the place where we had left the cab, and we are actually crossing that small road and heading towards the police station now. And suddenly in 5 minutes, the cab driver comes again. He opens the door and says, "Bhaiya, aapka phone reh gaya tha taxi mein." So my friend, he's a little shocked. He's like, "My goodness." So this is in an interval of 10 minutes. And he's like shocked. He gives him the phone. The phone had got switched off. The battery was low. And he's shocked. And he looks at me and says, whatever Rishabh, I think it's your temple visit which really saved my phone today. And all thanks to you. If you weren't going to the temple, I wouldn't have got my phone today. So it really touched me. It was like, wow. For someone who was constantly trying to, he realized the importance. So it was quite touching.
We don't know if gods are in temples, mosques, or churches. But when things like these happen,
yeah,
there's a power up there who's watching over you. So yes, thank you for sharing that. That is so wonderful. We're going into a very nice zone, I feel now, as we come to the close of the evening. Okay, up next is Tanvi.
Hi, Neha.
Hi Tanvi.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
I'm good. I think the stories are going a little deeper and very touching one by one, what we're listening. So today I'm going to share one of the most beautiful experience that I've had in my life. And I am going to cherish this experience throughout my life. It was when I was in second year of my college. And it was a college trip to Nainital, Ranikhet, and Kausani. So there's a lot I can talk about the entire trip, but I would like to stick with Kausani. It was 4 a.m. in the morning. We were supposed to catch a bus from Nainital to Kausani. So we had a bus which carried almost 65 students with 2 buses. And 4 a.m. in the morning, the temperature in the month of, it was mid of October in Nainital, and the temperature was somewhere around 1.5 degrees Celsius. And I was the only one from the batch who took liberty to go and take shower before we board the bus. And that had taken, I felt a little sick during that time. And then I was being treated in the bus with necessary medical stuff. And I almost slept for like 1 hour or so, and we had just crossed Nainital. And when I wake up, it was a slight sunrise, we could see. It was around 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and we could feel that, okay, it's gonna be morning soon. The roads which we were taking were so narrow. We could feel the bumps on the road. We could feel, and we were like hell scared that, okay, are we going to reach Kasoni or no? What happened was, slowly, as soon as we started seeing the light coming in, so was the fog, the early morning fog where nothing was being visible on the road. And it was completely blank. Until 10 a.m. in the morning, the road what we were traveling was quite empty. We did not see any inhabitants on the entire journey. And soon after we reached Ranikhet, where we had a first stop, we had our first meal of the day. And that's where when we started seeing people around us. Again, after a short break from Ranikhet, we went to a temple of bells over there. I forgot the name of it was a Devi temple. I don't remember the name of the temple right now, but it was a temple surrounded full of bells, and people used to go and tie bells over there so that their wishes get fulfilled. And it was a beautiful view altogether in between those green landscapes and the mountains around, to see such a beautiful small temple and so many villages around there. By the time we reached Kusani, it was already 7 in the evening. When we landed, we didn't know where we were gonna stay, what was the arrangement, but it was a beautiful hotel resort which was booked by our college. We landed to the hotel. We were taken for dinner, but we were all so dead tired that hardly some of us had taken dinner, and at least I decided to just hit the bed and go to sleep. That was my thing to do in the morning. That was my thing to do in the night, because I was dead tired with the entire journey. 6 in the morning, I woke up. My roommate, Sanam, was sleeping beside. And I thought, okay, now what to do? I'm so fresh and I know nobody's going to wake up before 8 or 9 in the morning. So let me see. It was so chilled. It was so cold at that time. We didn't have mobiles to check the temperature. So they had this small temperature device on every bed where you can go and literally check what the temperature is there. And it was 1 degree. So I pulled myself, put my coat, my shawl and everything. And I took the liberty to open the window. And there I see my roommate waking up and shouting at me that, what the hell is wrong with you? I said, okay, I'm sorry, I won't disturb you. I shut the window. I sat outside in the chill. I don't know why, but I was enjoying the chill of 1 degree in the morning. I don't know, there's something about the chill that I've always enjoyed. The one thing that I saw that morning was beyond words. It was the first time that I experienced a sunrise so beautiful, so serene, and so peaceful. I could see a tiny ray, a crimson red ray falling right somewhere on some peak of the mountain. I'm like, wow. And slowly, with few seconds, with few minutes, I could feel it spreading into a golden yellow color, scaled all the white mountains. And you won't believe what was that. It was the Nanda Devi mountain range of Himalayas.
Wow.
And that was the first thing I witnessed. I always saw Himalayas in photographs, but watching Himalayas sitting in the room of my balcony, witnessing that sunrise, it gave me goosebumps. I can even have a goosebump right now. And the beauty of the place where we were staying, at every room from the resort could see the entire range of Himalayas. Within few minutes, I could see that not just Nanda Devi, I saw Panchachula, I saw Kedarnath range, everything all in one panoramic view. That was the only place in Kasani where you could see the entire panorama of Himalayan range. And that's something still never goes away from my eyes. And I just thoroughly enjoyed the mountain. And I insisted to all my friends in the group that please wake up early in the morning and make a point that you enjoy the sunrise in the morning. I'm not an early riser. I hate sunrises. I never wake up for the sunrise. But that morning, it just took my heart away. And that was the day when we had a meeting with our teachers. I also requested all my teachers that please make sure everybody wakes up, please put everybody on alarm, and it's worth seeing. So that day, and then we were very curious that okay, we can see Himalayan from here. So now there's so much to do in this place. I was too excited to go all the places in this place. And to my shock, my professor came over and he explained to all of us that guys, this is the small town of Kausani, located in the Bageshwar district of Uttarakhand. It was just named Uttarakhand at that time when we visited. And there is nothing for you to do over here. You just have to be in this resort. It's a lesson that we want you to learn, that how do you appreciate the nature. And this is all you have to do. You have to be here. There's only one place that you can go around, and there was nothing there. There are no mall roads. There are no shops. There were no other hotels and resorts at that point of time. There was only one waterfall over there, which we were not allowed to go because it was already beginning of winters and there was no point going in there. And the teachers did not wanted anybody to get wet and fall sick. So the best part about it was that we were just supposed to stay in that resort. We may move out of the resort, but there was nothing more we were allowed to do, except a place called Anashakti Ashram. So that was the ashram where Gandhiji had gone and written his books. And we were not interested at first. We're like, okay, what are we going to do in an ashram? I mean, that was the age when I never understood the concept of ashram. But chalo, we decided, okay, at least that's one place that we can go. And we went. We had to literally track it from our place to Anashakti Ashram. It was a very it was not at all a smooth way to go to this Anashakti Ashram. And we decided that no matter what, let's just go. And we took a help of one of the villagers that the hotel people had arranged for all of us. And we were supposed to go in few batches and stay there. So when we went to Anashakti Ashram, the temperature it was around 10 and 11. The temperature was still 7-8 degrees in the morning. Very chilled, very windy. But a pinch of sunlight was like how you add a salt to your spicy food. And trust me, we all enjoyed sitting there. Few of my friends who played guitar, they played some bhajans, and we thoroughly enjoyed our time. It was for 1 hour or so, and we were supposed to come back to our resort. And we were all sitting down in the lawn of our resort and staring at the Himalayan range, just adoring the beauty that God had bestowed upon us, because this is something we were never gonna enjoy, we were never gonna feel. And for next 2 days that we were supposed to be in the resort, we took all our time to play all the outdoor games, to do dancing, to do singing, everything in the lawn. We requested the resorts to put the lunch in the lawn in the lunch hours, because dinner we couldn't ask them, because dinner in the night the temperature would fall into minus. So we could not request for that. But I think that beauty of Himalayan range is gonna stay with me for my life. And I wish I can again go sometime to that beautiful place. Now that place is very, very commercialized. There are a lot of other resorts in the vicinity, I've heard, and a lot has changed over there. At that time, there was only one hotel in the entire Kausani village. And to tell you, that is the last town from where the journey of people who tracks Himalaya starts. And even the pilgrimage like Badrinath, Kedarnath, and all, they all also start from the same place. So yeah, that's all about my journey to Kausani and to the Himalayan ranges.
Wow, that was so beautiful, Tanvi. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
You really were in the lap of some divinity there.
Definitely.
And sunrises and these kind of sunrises are extremely soothing, inspiring. They evoke a different sentiment in different people, and it's a lovely experience that you have for life to cherish. You described it so beautifully that we could almost stand there with you and see it through you. So thank you for sharing that.
I'm glad. Thank you.
I would narrate a short experience of from some of my travel stories and travel escapades that I have had. So we started the evening on a note of romance, and I'm gonna conclude the evening also on a note of romance. Recently, I took a solo trip to Goa. That was in March, just before the lockdown and everything. A little Feb end, more like it. So by the time I came back, it was the first week of March, and this was the first time that I was actually taking a solo trip, and it was a good 5 day trip that I had undertaken. I had recently got married, so it was a different experience for me to be leaving home and traveling, and with not traveling with my husband. But thankfully, coincidentally, at that time he also was traveling for a shoot, and he was like, it's a good timing because I'm also not going to be home, and you've been wanting to do a solo trip, it's in your bucket list, so it's a good timing, go off. And I was like, yeah, I've been wanting to do a solo trip. It was something that was, like, the whole idea of solo trip was quite fascinating. I went on the trip. Those 5 days, I had a blast. I went on walks alone. I climbed the Chapra Fort. I went to different places. I went to a different kind of a museum which works on different senses of the person, and it mixes technology, sensory experiences, and art in the work that they do. There were tons of episodes that happened, but which I'm going to come to another time. But here, when as I was shooting the pictures, as I was taking videos, I realized that even though I wanted to do a solo trip, there was a part of me that wanted to, every picture I shared, I clicked, I wanted to first share it with him. There was a part of me that was like virtually traveling with him. And when I was coming back home, I was like, okay, the trip is over. I was making a photo diary. I was updating my Instagram. I was posting things. I was making notes. I was writing some blog templates and doing all of that. And while I was savoring that experience, it was like, कुछ मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Like, I'm like, maybe I'm feeling tired, or maybe something's wrong. And I don't know, or maybe because I traveled by train and it was a 8-9 hour journey. So which started in the afternoon, and by the time I reached Bombay from Goa, it was like quite late in the night. And it was very noisy because some families were traveling with their kids. And I was like, maybe it's all that irritation, maybe it's that. But when I reached Bombay and I got out of the train, and my husband was standing there. Usually, before that, whenever I had gone anywhere, either I would have traveled with my or picnics, my parents would be standing there. But this time when I got down, it was too late, and I did not want my parents to travel, and I'd warned them that please don't, we'll be in touch on the phone and I will inform you. And when I got there, I saw my husband standing there. This was the first time when I have gone somewhere alone, I've come back, and then the person to greet me is not my parents but my husband. And in that moment when I saw him, I realized this is what was missing. I may have ticked off the bucket list and I may have done a solo trip, but I realized that the feeling of companionship is, once you have developed that feeling, you want to do everything together. It was something that I had not understood before. And even though my husband and me had known each other for 10 years, and we were together for almost 10 years before we got married, and it was only a few months into our married life when I did my solo trip, I think in that moment, love and companionship got kind of redefined for me, because people have always said that after a certain point, you become so one. So a lot of people used to say, elders used to say that, I had read in literature books and everything that you don't realize what you were missing until it comes along. So in that moment, I definitely would say this, that the best part that I had from my solo trip, the best memory I have, is the end of the solo trip, where I had had my own experiences. I had done my trip. I had ticked off a huge thing off my bucket list. But at the end of the trip, the feeling of coming home, and home was not home, a place, it was a person. That feeling and the climax of that journey was, I think, the best moment of the solo trip. So among the many travel stories that I have, and among the many escapades which I have been through, I think this recent memory of mine is something that I'm going to savor for a long, long time. And this was my travel story. We have Payal, who's made a request.
Hi, Neha.
Hi.
Neha, can you hear
Hi,
me?
hi. Yes, I can.
So, lovely stories, lovely shares, Neha, and every story is different and simple and profound in its own ways. Like for you, the realization was amazing that companionship is just a part of you. So I can relate to that for my husband and my daughter, that whenever I am out at a new restaurant without him and without my daughter, the first thought that comes is, oh, they would love this. They would love this. How would they react? Yeah, lovely, lovely share. So mine is a little story about my travel to Varanasi. Now, after my father-in-law's sudden death, my mother-in-law wanted to visit the Ganga, the river Ganga, and you know that feeling of that her husband's soul should rest in peace. She wanted to do it there because they say that Gujarati, Surat nu Jaman and Kashi nu Maran. It's the best that you can get. Right now, we are also aware of this movie Mukti Bhavan,
Yeah.
which is a lodge that is there in Kashi, in Varanasi, where you are allowed to go by permission if you're nearing your death. Like maybe you have a terminal illness, or you know that you're going to die. And so we went to Varanasi. I went with these high hopes, and we land in Varanasi. I enter in our taxi, we go, the hotel picks us up, and four of us, my husband, me, my daughter, and my mother-in-law, four of us, we head towards the hotel, and we look at Varanasi and say, shit, this place is shit. This place stinks. And everywhere, you know, it was dirty. The place, even the dogs over there were dirty. And we were like commenting that this is the scum of UP. You know, how people can die peacefully here. It was the exact contrast. And we head to the hotel. Next day we go to the, Kashi Vishwanath temple over there. I enter the temple. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's sentiments here. But I found that place totally commercialized. No such thing as faith over there. And we visited, and I just walked out of it. Very shabbily maintained also. Then I'm talking of 2015. Yeah, 2015. We went there in January 2017. Sorry, 2017. My mistake. January 2017. And I was like put off, and I said, I am not going to come back. It's just that my mother-in-law wanted to visit this place. We would try and stay in the hotel. And we went for a ride to the river Ganga in the afternoon. I was had my own imagination about Ganga, but and I had visited Haridwar, Rishikesh, where Ganga was very clean at that point of time. I'm talking of 20 years, in the 90s I had visited, very clean and nice then. And Varanasi, when I visit, and the river that I visit, dirty again. Those small boats also dirty. But my mother-in-law wanted to take a dip. So she said, I am not going directly dipping here. Let's take the boat. Let's go to the center. We'll dip our feet and we'll come out. This is what we do. We enter there and go in between there. There it's a little clean in the center. We get out. Then in the evenings, the hotel guy said that you must go for the Aarti. Now, the Ganga Aarti. So again, to that dirty place, we have to go. And still something in us said, no, let's go and finish the Aarti. We'll go and get a feel. We go in the evening, and that entire ghat, okay, it has the Varanasi Ganga has a lot of ghats, side to side. And so we go there in the boat, and we gradually moving towards the place where the aartis take place. And in between, I pass through these ghats where the dead bodies are burnt. Okay. And I look at that and I am just fascinated by that scene, because adjoining to it is where this cremation is taking place. Adjoining to it, the aartis have started. And I was dumbstruck with that view. I forgot all the dirt, the murk and everything. And I am looking at the life which is going on in the form of aartis, praising the Ganga river for its the fact that it nourishes the city and the people there, and simultaneously death, cremation is happening. And I don't know, that was my aha moment. And I was just like, wow, life and death simultaneously. Yes, this is my India. This is the spirit of India, where everything is there simultaneously. The murk of life, the beauty of life, where they're praising the Ganga for its nourishment, and death. It is so like, everything is merged into one: life, death, whatever. And I returned a changed person from there, that how beautiful my country is, with whatever that it has, it's dirt, it's murk, but that spirit outshines everything. So yeah, and that was what I wanted to share.
Wow,
Thank you.
that was profound, quite profound.
Okay.
Yes, Srinath, you are.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Neha ma'am, for having me here. And thank you to one and all who have shared your stories. It has been really very inspiring. So
Yes,
this was the
please, yes,
time
please.
when we went for a trek. We were 13 of us, and we went to the Kareri Lake trek, which the base camp is at Dharamshala, and Dharamshala McLeodganj. And from there we started the trek. And it was 12 of us. We were enjoying. We went slowly, and then we reached the second highest point, where we had where we had another camp. And from there we were going to go on the highest peak, that was the Kareri Lake, the summit. So when we reached there, it was a wonderful place. We had a little stream going by us. We had some horses, like khachar, we call them khachar, that's a mule, who were carrying our bags. And it was a wonderful place. We had a wonderful journey going up. And then since I have been to many treks, and we usually don't have like a tank on the mountains. We usually take the water from the jharna, that we call the spring water that we have. So we were about to take the water from that jharna which was near us, and our instructor told us, don't take water from there. There is some gandagi there. So he said, don't take water from here, take from another stream. We were like, why is he saying like this? We were like, okay, as he's saying, he knows better, there must be something. So we took from another jharna. Next day we went up. We went to the summit, which was the Kareri Lake, which was like a sacred place sort of, where people usually go and take dips. And the shepherds there, they take the whole trek in one day completely. They go up and come down in one day, absolutely. And when we came down, we were with our camps here, and we were 6 boys and 6 girls. And along the whole trek, the girls were disturbed. I mean, the girls and boys had a little competition, and we had little, as a like musty types, and the girls were really irritating us. So what we boys thought, we had like an audio of a bear, and we had managed to get a speaker up. So we thought we'll prank the girls in the tent. So we'll go around the tent in the night, and we'll play the bear sounds. So we made sure we told the instructor, so that he doesn't get scared in the night. So we were like, okay, we have to do this. So we were waiting at the campfire to get over, and everybody was going to go. And at the campfire, we suddenly heard a dog barking across the stream. So we were like, achanak raat, I mean, almost everybody was just about to go, but the dog was continuously barking. We were like, "Arey, what's happening?" So, and he did not stop at all. We finished our food. We were all about to get in our tents. We were like, okay, guys, plan ready. But that moment, I'm like, guys, nahi karte aaj. Aaj chhod do. किसी और दिन देख लेंगे, नीचे जाके कुछ देख लेंगे, पर अभी नहीं करना है. And all my guy friends are like, अरे क्या क्या फट्टू है तू यार, why are you doing this? I'm like, no, my intuition is saying no, so let's not mess with that. They're like, अरे यार तू देख, तेरे वजह से हम लोग को मजा नहीं आएगा. I'm like, जो बोलना है बोल दो, पर we should not do this. So they're like, okay, ठीक है, तू बोलता है तो नहीं करते. And when we went in the tent, the dog is still barking. And then रात को अचानक से the noise stops. I get up at midnight with my friend. My friend like, दोस्त चलना washroom जाके आते. And we were instructed to go 2 at a time. So one will stay outside and like see, and we should not go alone is what the instructor had told us. So we went outside, and they were like closed washrooms. So it's like a tent, and then you go inside and you do your washroom. So in the closed tent, he went inside, he was peeing. And then outside, when I was just looking around with my head torch here, I was like, okay, dekhte kya hai aaju baju. And suddenly in front of me, I see 2 glittering eyes. I'm like, bro, what is this? I'm like, bhai, jaldi bala, ye kya hai, dekh karke. And when he also came out, we're like, okay, we should just head for the tent. But as everyone does in any horror scene, we went towards the eyes to find out what it actually was. And we went closely, slowly we went. We were lucky enough that it was a horse, the mule that they were with us. We were like, अच्छा कोई बात नहीं, चले यार, tension नहीं है, चुपचाप जाके सो जाओ. So we went in the tent and we slept. Next morning when we get up, the instructor takes me inside me and he tells me, बच्चा लोग तुमने अच्छा किया, y'all didn't do it at night, because last night there was a bear across the river who had killed the dog. In the morning, because we didn't see the dog at all, and the instructor I asked the instructor, वो कुत्ता कहाँ गया करके. So instructor told me that the bear had come and killed the dog, and that's why he also asked us not to drink the water from the Jarna, because before this they had known about some bear activity who had killed upstream. That's why we were not allowed to drink from this Jarna also that we had, that was just next to us. So it was like a very scary thing. Like I got super, like, I mean, I'm a animal lover, so I'm like, if we would have played that at night, he would have found it like a territory call, like someone who wants to claim, another bear who wants to claim his territory, or he could have also found like a mating call. Both ways would have been in trouble. So we were really happy that we did not do it. And till date, I have not told my friends that there actually was a bear. So yes, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and thank you everybody for sharing also.
So up next is Dipti. Dipti, are you here?
Hi everyone. And it's quite amazing to go through several virtual trips through the stories of you people. So I'm here to tell a story about my first trip, which is without my parents. Actually, it's my personal feeling. When you travel with your parents, you are having home-like feeling even on the travel. They are going to provide you everything, each and everything over there, and you are at ease at home in wherever you are, in the hotels or in the train. So once you get out of that homely feeling and had an opportunity to arrange things for yourself, then it becomes amazing. A simple thing became amazing for the first time. Thereafter, they realized what parents used to do with us and how far we are struggling for the same thing. So, to talk too long, which I accompanied with 5 of our friends. So it was our obvious. I was in my graduation days, and at that time it was chill, December vacation, and Shillong is known for its chillness. So none of our friends are allowing us, so we have a great struggle over there. Get permission for that, and fortunately somehow with a bundle of lies that uske parents allow kar rahe, uske parents allow kar rahe, but it was actually none of us were allowed for that. We just keep on saying कि सारे allowed कर रहे, आप नहीं कर रहे हो, and in this course of time each of us got the permission in the same way. And thereafter we have a long train journey to Shillong, and the curiosity that lies a couple who is traveling to Shillong from Delhi, and we are not able to get their language, but we somehow begin to decode. The people are just talking about themselves, and it was like two of them are in our coach, and we are not getting their language, and they are not getting their language. So through activities, because it was train used to delay in winter days, so we had 2 days and 2 days and 1 night travel time with them. So we begin decoding, and this how toward the end of the last, I can say 10 hours. For last 10 hours, we have conversation, because the man who constitute the bubble is pretending to be quite rude, even with the lady. So because we don't have their language, so we didn't attempt to communicate with them. But in the last 10 hours, when we people are finished with our food item, and there is no seller, and even in the daytime, because the people are like a student going for the first time, हम लोगों ने रात में खाना लिया नहीं, and दिन में कुछ मिला नहीं, and this couple who are in used to travel from Delhi to Shillong and Shillong to Delhi, it almost after each 2 month duration, they are known to what they need to do and what they not to do. So they started in some Garo Khasi language plus English. तो टूटी फूटी उनकी अंग्रेजी और गारो की ये जो मिक्सचर थी, वो हम लोगों को समझना काफी ज्यादा एफर्टफुल रहा. And also get there, so we have a quite still morning. Then we have got another parent like filling over there after a complete 24-hour travel, and then we got to know कि जो चीजें हमको बहुत interesting लग रही थी from waiting over Patna station till 2, और वो फिर जा करके अब last में when we faced the scarcity of food among themselves, and then they apparently offered with us food, and a lot of do's and don'ts. You are not supposed to go on the gate, you are not supposed to do this, you are not supposed to this. Then we get used कि हम लोगों को वहाँ पे वो वैल्यू समझ में आई कि वो क्या होती थी, जिन चीजों को अभी तक हेट्रेड लेकर के चल रही. हम लोग को अभी तक बिकॉज कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली थी स्ट्रगल करने की, तो हमको लगती थी वो क्या कर रहे, क्यों कर रहे. And then after 2 hours, when we really begin to feel about them, and suddenly we get a presence of parent in this couple, so it was quite warming, and then we get the value that we are going, what we are hitting is actually we are going to miss them. So this is a short experience which I want to share with you people.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that.